I will never forget the moment the pink confetti cannon went off and my backyard was filled with cheers, camera flashes, and the smell of barbecue. It was supposed to be the happiest day of my pregnancy. Caleb and I had waited 8 years to start a family. And this gender reveal was the first time in months my whole family had been in one place without fighting. Or so I thought. I was laughing, wiping tears, when my mom, Trish, suddenly stood up on the picnic table in her white sundress, the same dress code I'd asked everyone to follow for photos. She tapped her glass with a spoon like she was about to give a toast. Everyone quieted. Even the music stopped. "While we're all here celebrating new life," she said, voice sweet as iced tea, "Greg and I have an announcement of our own." She placed both hands on her stomach and smiled the biggest smile I'd ever seen on her face. "I'm 12 weeks pregnant. We're having a little miracle at 58. The backyard went dead silent. You could hear the confetti still drifting to the ground. I felt the blood leave my face. This was my gender reveal. My moment. My baby girl. But Trish wasn't finished. She stepped down, walked straight to me, and took the microphone from the DJ. "And Lori, honey," she said, eyes shining with tears that looked real to everyone else. "When your daughter is born, I want you to name her Angela Rose, after my stillborn angel. It would mean the world to me to finally have my little girl's name spoken out loud again. 40 years ago, Trish lost a baby girl at 20 weeks. I grew up hearing about Angela Rose every birthday, every holiday, every time Trish needed attention. I had always been sympathetic, until that second. I looked at Caleb. He looked at Harper. They were both frozen. Trish kept going. It's only right. Family honors family. And since this baby is the first granddaughter, she trailed off like it was obvious the name belonged to her ghost, not to my living child. I felt something inside me snap, quiet and clean, like ice breaking on a lake. Everyone started clapping, because that's what you do when someone announces a miracle baby. I stood there with pink confetti in my hair, smiling the way you smile when you're trying not to scream. Trish floated around the yard, accepting hugs like she was the one carrying a baby. Dad just kept saying, "We're so blessed," over and over, eyes glassy. Brittany was already filming for TikTok. "Family is getting bigger. Hashtag miracle baby, hashtag sister pregnant." Caleb squeezed my hand. "You okay?" he whispered. I wasn't, but I nodded anyway. Later, when the guests left and the yard was quiet, Trish pulled me aside by the dessert table. She had that look, half pleading, half queen ordering a subject. "Lori, I've waited 40 years to hear my daughter's name again. You can't deny me this." I laughed, short and sharp. "It's my daughter, my baby, Mom." She blinked like I'd slapped her, but Angela was taken from me. "This is how I get her back." Caleb stepped in. "Trish, maybe we talk about this later." She turned on him with the same smile she used on camera. Of course. I just assumed Lori would want to honor family. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her standing on that table, hand on her belly, stealing the only day that was supposed to be mine. I went downstairs for water and found Brittany in the kitchen, on my couch, editing her TikTok. The caption already read, "When your mom announces she's pregnant at your sister's gender reveal, and the baby will be named after your stillborn sister, Angela Rose." It had 40K views. Comments. "That's so beautiful. Healing. The sister is jealous." I felt the room tilt. I walked back upstairs, sat on the bathroom floor, and cried for the first time that day. Caleb found me there. "We don't have to name her Angela," he said softly. I looked at him. "It's not about the name anymore. It's about the fact that my own mother just erased me from my own pregnancy." I knew then this wasn't going to stop at a name. The next morning, I woke up to 127 new notifications. Brittany's TikTok had hit 2 million views overnight. The comments were brutal. "Selfish sister won't even give the baby a meaningful name. She's mad her mom is finally happy." Trish had commented herself, a single crying emoji, and some hurts never heal. I felt sick. At breakfast, Trish acted like nothing happened. She sat at my kitchen island sipping coffee, rubbing her still flat stomach. "So have you thought about Angela Rose?" she asked, casual as asking about the weather. I set my mug down harder than I meant to. "Mom, we're not naming our daughter after your stillborn baby." Her face changed in a heartbeat, sweet to stone. "After everything I've been through, you can't give me this one thing." Dad walked in, heard the tale end, and immediately started his usual script. "Lori, your mom's hormones." I cut him off. "She's not the only one with hormones." That afternoon, Trish went live on Brittany's account. 50,000 people watched her cry about losing Angela twice, and how one daughter understands my pain and the other doesn't. The live raised $8,000 in super chats for rainbow baby expenses. My phone blew up with strangers calling me heartless. Harper came over that night with pizza and fury. "She's monetizing your pregnancy, Lori. This is insane." I showed her the GoFundMe Brittany had started. "Help Mom's Miracle Rainbow Baby. Goal $25,000 for nursery and medical bills." They'd already hit $19,000. Using my gender reveal photos as the cover image, I sat on the couch staring at the screen until something inside me went very quiet. Caleb asked what I was thinking. I told him the truth. I'm done being the good daughter. I opened my laptop and started typing an email I never thought I'd send. Subject line: withdrawal of all financial and emotional support, effective immediately. I hit send before I could second guess it. Then I turned my phone face down and waited for the storm. It came faster than I expected. The first text came from Brittany at 2:14 a.m. "What the f*** is this email? You're cutting us off?" Then Dad: "Lori, call your mother, she's having pains." Then Trish herself. Voice note: crying so hard, the words blurred. "How could you do this to me while I'm carrying your little sister? You're killing us both." I didn't reply. By morning, the GoFundMe had been updated. New title: Help a Rainbow Mom After Her Daughter Abandoned Her. They'd added screenshots of my email, cropped to look like I was refusing to help with medical bills. Donations shot past $40,000. Harper read it over my shoulder and laughed. Cold. "They just turned you into the villain of their soap opera." Classic. I expected Gil. Instead, I felt light. I blocked them all. 2 days later, Caleb's phone rang. Trish, hysterical, saying she was spotting, and it was my fault for stressing her out. Caleb looked at me, waiting for me to cave. I shook my head. He muted the call and said, "I'm with you." That was the moment I knew we'd actually make it. A week later, Brittany showed up at my doorstep with a ring light and fake tears. "Lori, we need to film a reconciliation for the followers. Mom's blood pressure is sky high. Just say you're sorry on camera and we'll forgive you." I closed the door in her face. She posted a TikTok from my porch. "When your sister chooses money over family and almost causes a miscarriage." It got 4 million views. I didn't watch it. I just changed the locks, updated my venue contracts, all in my name, and quietly moved the rest of Grandma Maggie's trust into an account only Caleb and I could touch. Then I waited, because Trish's miracle pregnancy was about to hit the second trimester. And second trimester anatomy scans don't lie. The storm was coming. And this time, I wasn't the one who would drown in it. The anatomy scan was scheduled for a Friday. Trish turned it into a live-streamed event. Gender reveal for my rainbow miracle. Brittany set up ring lights in the OB's waiting room. They sold VIP Zoom tickets for $50 a pop. Over 3,000 people pay. I watched from my couch with a bowl of popcorn and zero guilt. The ultrasound tech, bless her, kept a perfect poker face while Trish lay on the table, smiling for the camera. Brittany narrated, "We're all hoping for another little princess to carry on Angela Rose's name." The wand moved, the room went quiet. The tech turned the screen toward Trish. "Everything looks healthy. And it's a boy. You could hear the record scratch in 3,000 living rooms at once. Trish sat up so fast, the paper on the table ripped. No, that can't be right. Run it again. Itek repeated it. Still a boy. Chat exploded. Where's Angela Rose now? Rainbow scam? Refunds? Brittany tried to salvage it. Boys can be angels too. We'll still name him Angelo. But the donations stopped cold. The GoFundMe froze pending investigation. TikTok comments turned vicious overnight. Then the messages started rolling into me. People who donated, demanding answers. I stayed silent. 2 days later, Trish showed up at my door. No makeup, hair in a messy bun, looking 10 years older. She was crying real tears this time. Lori, the doctor says my blood pressure is dangerous. They might have to deliver early. We need your help. I let her stand on the porch. Help with what, Mom? The hospital bills, the nursery, everything. We used the GoFundMe money for Brittany's new ring light set and my maternity photo shoot. I almost laughed. Almost. Instead, I handed her the printed refund policy from the frozen fundraiser. Looks like the internet wants their money back. Good luck. I closed the door. That night, she called Caleb 17 times. He let it ring. The storm had finally hit, and for once, I was the one holding the umbrella. 3 weeks later, the hospital called me directly. Trish had been admitted for preeclampsia. The baby, healthy boy, 6 pounds 2 ounces, was delivered by emergency C-section. They named him Angelo because Brittany insisted it still honored Angela. No one came to the birth except Dad and Brittany's ring light. I didn't go. I sent flowers with a card that simply read, "Congratulations. I hope he brings you all the joy you deserve." The GoFundMe was shut down. Over $60,000 in donations refunded after hundreds of reports. TikTok removed Brittany's account for fraud. Trish's blood pressure stabilized, but her reputation didn't. Dad showed up at my house one Sunday afternoon, hat literally in hand. "We made mistakes, Lori. Your mom's sorry. We're sorry. We need help with the hospital bills and the lawyer fees from the refund mess." I let him stand on the porch, the same way I'd let Trish. "I'm sure you'll figure it out," I said. The way I figured out how to plan an entire gender reveal, pay for it, and still smile while my own mother turned it into her stage. He started to argue. I closed the door. Madison threw me a small non-baby shower that night. Just champagne, cupcakes, and zero family drama. We toasted to healthy boundaries and healthy babies. Our daughter was born 2 months later, 8 pounds 1 ounce, perfect. We named her Margaret Harper Evans. Maggie, after the grandmother who taught me that love doesn't demand, it gives. Harper, after the friend who never once asked me to shrink. I posted one photo on the day she was born. Maggie sleeping on my chest. Captioned, "First granddaughter on my side. Name chosen by her parents. No explanations needed." It got 4 million likes. The comments were beautiful. And for the first time in my life, none of them were about Trish, Brittany, or Angela Rose. They haven't spoken to me since the hospital. I hear Trish tells people I'm still bitter. That's fine. I'm too busy being happy. Some wounds don't need revenge. They just need distance. And a little girl who will never be broken again. I'm Lori Evans, and this is the story of how I finally stopped carrying everyone else's pain and started carrying only the love that was meant for me. Don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next life story with love and respect.